Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another show of the Women of Sweet Swine County. And today, of course, we have the most fabulous guests on the show, Prairie Ann. And we also have some segments of towns outside Sweet Swine County that I know those are your favorite.
Yeah, they are.
And what are you doing for us today?
Well, I couldn't wait to get here today, Paris. I wanted to tell you about Nicole. She's out on a buying trip for the Giddy Up.
But Prairie Ann, the Giddy Up is a consignment shop. People bring us clothes to sell.
That's right.
So what is she actually
So why
buying?
is she on a buying trip anyway, then, I wonder? That Nicole.
Nicole,
She's
if you are
always
out
trying
there,
to pull something.
do not buy anything. Get back here. I mean, we're carrying the show for you. Why is she on the payroll?
I have no clue. I have
don't
no
know.
clue.
Anyway,
Some distant cousin thing that.
well, why don't we get to something happy? You have a viewer email to read.
Yes, we do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
Ladies, are you listening?
Our letter today comes from Julie Lenners. As you know, Paris lives in the town of Sweet Swine, right here in Sweet Swine County. Anyway, she says, "Hello, ladies. I'm so excited to be writing to you. I enjoy your show so much." She's a wise woman. "You are like heroes to me. Everyone is really ready for spring. As the weather gets nicer, everyone starts thinking about the beautiful lakes and parks in the area. Unfortunately, not all our lakes and parks are at their best. Fortunately, there are concerned citizens tackling these issues. Gaylord is in a small town in Sibley County, resting on the edge of Lake Titlow. The Lake Titlow Committee, a group of concerned citizens, has built a partnership with local leaders and organizations to protect and improve the local watershed. Comprised of volunteers, funded through donations, the organization has worked extensively to educate landowners about better conservation practices and programs that are available for improvements. They create brochures and write articles to raise awareness and concern about the quality of lake water and the tributaries that contribute to them. With the arrival of warm weather, the Lake Titlow Restoration Project will continue to monitor lake water quality, map stream flow, review the quality of intake water from runoff, and continue to build funds for continued education and possible future water cleanup." That's a mouthful. "I want to tip my hat to the members of the Lake Titlow Committee. Future generations will certainly enjoy the fruits of your labors." What do you think, Paris?
Wow. Well, I'm impressed on two levels. First of all, that was a very educational email.
It was.
And secondly, there were some really big words, and you did a good job.
Thank you very much.
For your 8th grade education is paying up.
Hey, Paris, I've got a great idea.
Really?
Why don't we look at a couple more city spotlights? That'll get our mind off Nicole out there shopping like a mad woman.
That is a great idea.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, Mrs. Tipton.
Thank you for the apple, Gracie, and everyone did a great job on their Minnesota history report.
Thank you, Mrs. Tipton.
Today, I'm going to read Gracie's report, which talks about a fascinating town here in Minnesota that has an interesting past and a very busy present, and also has a promising future. And I understand that Gracie brought pictures to show everybody. So let's get started.
Redwood Falls is nestled along the Minnesota River Valley and is known as the Scenic City. This is home to the 217-acre Alexander Ramsey Park, the largest municipal park in Minnesota. As the county seat of Redwood County, Redwood Falls is also an economic hub. Excellent schools, healthcare, a municipal airport, various civic groups, and numerous recreational activities combine to make Redwood Falls a great town to visit, to work, to raise your family, or to retire in.
Now let's take a look at the community partners that make this community prosper. Thanks for the great report, Gracie, and make sure to tell your parents tonight about this great Minnesota town.
Hello, my name is Lady Dot, and I'm from Spottingham, England, and I've traveled the entire world with my dog Spot. After all, how could I not call my dog Spot? But I digress. I wanted to tell you about some of the exciting communities I've found here in southern Minnesota. So if you would like to join me, please pull up a chair and I will pour you a spot of tea. One moment, please. Gertrude, we need a teacup. This is the creamer. Thank you. My apology. As I was saying, please pull up a chair and we will explore some of these exciting communities together.
The city of Sleepy Eye sits on a lake in south-central Minnesota and is named for Chief Sleepy Eyes. This thriving community of 3,500 people boasts 7 city parks, a thriving historical society and other organizations, a wonderful library, excellent education, and has been connected to several famous spaces or events. Along with other annual events, the community has celebrated Buttered Corn Days for 45 years. Sleepy Eye is a wonderful place to live, to work, and to raise a family.
Did I not tell you that that community is spot on? Why don't we have a look at a few of their businesses?
That was a great city spotlight, but they're all great, but
Yeah, it certainly was. But Paris, what are you doing sitting way over there?
I'm getting ready for our guests. They're these big burly men.
Good.
So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Ladies
introduce
and
them.
gentlemen, from the town of Henderson, welcome to Denny and Jeff.
Yay!
Celebrities here.
What happened for you? Well, welcome, Denny and Jeff. When Paris and I heard about Sauerkraut Days, we said, we've got to have you guys on the show.
I mean, Sauerkraut Days, the name itself just screams, hey, I want to be on the Women of Sweet Swine County.
Exactly.
Just one mic for the two of us?
Just
Well-
one mic for the two of you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking that Nicole probably took the other ones so she can do her shopping. but-
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. You can make do, can't you?
He can speak into my armpit and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
We're very happy to be here to talk to you about Henderson Sauerkraut Days. It's one of the neatest little celebrations in the state of Minnesota. It is the only place where I believe you can go in the United States that you can have all the sauerkraut you want for free. You can eat all the sauerkraut you want for 3 days. It's the last full weekend in June. And that's kind of the big thing as far as Sauerkraut Days is concerned, is the free kraut, but we have a lot of activities going on besides that.
How long have you been doing Sauerkraut Days?
Sauerkraut Days started in the 1930s. It was a group of businessmen got together during the Depression era to try and come up with something to attract people to town to make a little money. And back in the good old days, Sauerkraut Days attracted 40,000 people.
Wow.
In the late...
In a town of about 1,000.
Right.
Wow.
And in the late 60s, early 70s, we almost got too big. There was motorcycle gangs came and hooligans and raised a lot of problems. And so Sauerkraut Days was kind of put on the shelf for a number of years. And back about, I don't know, 15 years ago or so.
Early 90s, it was resurrected.
And it's been growing and getting better every year.
Danny, do you have a parade during your celebration?
Actually, we have 3 parades. We have a kiddie parade
parades.
for the little ones, and on Sunday we have our big Sauerkraut Days parade. And on Saturday nights,
Should we tell them?
we'll tell you
Yes.
about it. It's the
We're
Owl
dying
Parade.
to know.
The what?
The Owl Parade.
Owl?
Owl.
As in hoot?
That's right. In fact, an owl leads the parade, and it's
A real owl?
not really, no. But
Okay.
the unit that it's mounted on, the driver is dressed as an owl as well. The Owl Parade is kind of a combination between Mardi Gras and just zaniness and craziness.
Halloween.
Prairie Ann, you fit right in.
I would. I could be the, what is that of the parade?
The Grand
Grand
Marshal.
Grand Marshal.
Of the Owl
Yeah, I
Parade,
could be
that
the
would be
Grand
an
Marshal
honor.
of the
That
Owl
would be a
Parade.
real honor.
Do you throw out little samples of sauerkraut like they do candy, or?
No, we
That's
don't
a
do
good
that.
idea. How about sauerkraut on a stick?
You know what? We tried with some kids last year. We had sauerkraut cones,
Oh,
and they actually ate them.
They
So,
did.
yeah.
They really
and,
did.
You
Wow.
know, in Henderson, sauerkraut itself is pretty supreme. You know, I like a little of it, but there are people like Jeff and other ones that you know, they have kraut for breakfast.
do you have any other activities?
We have a ton of activities. We have a classic car cruise. We have ball tournaments. We have free dances. One of the big events is the sauerkraut eating contest, where we have contestants that consume 2 pounds of hot sauerkraut. The record is 60 seconds,
Oh, wow.
60
2
seconds for
pounds?
2 pounds of sauerkraut.
and that maybe
First to
the
eat 2 pounds.
yes, and they have to eat all the kraut, clean their plate, stand up, and say that year's slogan for Sauerkraut Days. Now, every year we have a different slogan, and we put it on a T-shirt. This one happens to be from 2008. The slogan that year was "Got Kraut."
Got kraut, okay.
This is last year's,
Last year's slogan was, for all you do, this kraut's
Kraut's
for you.
and we have a kraut kickoff. Usually, this year it happens to be on May 1st, where we present to the community the new sauerkraut T-shirt. It's kind of a big deal. Our queens
An unveiling of the
An
T-shirt.
unveiling,
Yeah.
correct. And something neat that has happened because of this on the Henderson website, hendersonmn.com, people have gone all over the world with their kraut shirt on, and they have pictures taken. And we have a whole unit on there called Kraut Shirt and I, and it's pictures from all over the world of people with their sauerkraut shirt on.
I heard you were having a contest this year. Can you tell us about that?
This is the first year that we're having a drawing like this. We are having a drawing for $1 per chance on a 1947 Alice Chalmers C tractor. We're calling it the Orange Blossom Special. And you know, when we first talked about this, we thought that this C Alice would be attractive to a lot of men in the community. But you cannot believe the number of women that have been coming up to me and saying, I want a chance on that because my husband needs a C Alice.
Yeah.
Okay, so since I did not grow up in the country, can you explain what that tractor is?
It's a classic antique tractor, an orange tractor. Anybody that grew up in the farming community would know what it is. It's just a cute little tractor. It will be all restored. We're putting some decals on there that designate it Henderson Sauerkraut Days, and we're calling it the Orange Blossom Special.
Now, will you be able to, during the Henderson Days, buy the chances for it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's very affordable. Chances are only $1.
$1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Or if you don't want the tractor, we will give you $750 in cash. I mean, if I'm sure that all you attractive ladies in Swine County, your fellas probably could use some
We
Cialis.
could, yeah.
But if you don't want to drive it all the way down here, you certainly could take the $750 in cash.
And I heard you have another surprise for us today.
I wanted to say how happy we are to be on your show, and I know Denny was very happy too. He called me last night and was so excited. He said, "Jeff, what are you going to wear for the show?" And I said, "Well, our kraut shirts, of course." And so we did bring one for each of you.
Yay!
Oh, yay. My
Now, these are last year's shirts.
And I believe we brought one for the entire audience.
Yes, we did.
You are so generous. Yay! Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about Henderson? I've heard it's a beautiful community.
Henderson's located on the Minnesota River in Sibley County. Recently, within the last 10 years, the entire Main Street has been resurrected with buildings that are built in the late 1800s. We've got a beautiful school. It's a small community, just under 1,000 people.
It's been wonderful having you gentlemen here today,
Yes.
and now we'd like to show you a segment that's exclusive to our show.
Prairie Ann, they're not exclusive to our show. They're great segments, but not exclusive.
Well, here we go with Cooking It Up with Betty.
Hi, welcome back to another session of Cooking It Up with Betty. Today, I'm going to be making one of everyone's favorites, burgers. But not just any burger, these are special Betty bacon burgers. And with a few special ingredients, you can turn ho-hum into yum-yum. The special ingredients I'm going to be adding today are minced onion, ground pepper, ground cumin, garlic powder, and some salt. And then we're going to be wrapping it with a slice of bacon. Now when you shape your patties, you want to make sure your patties are about 3/4 of an inch thick so that you can get a nice even doneness. Wrap the bacon around and secure with toothpicks, and then you're going to grill. You know, I was inspired for this recipe when I visited Henderson, Minnesota. And I stopped at Tootie's Sweet Treats because they have the best malts there. And you know, nothing goes better with a burger than a malt. After I had my malt, I headed to the Henderson Community Building. It's right there on Main Street in downtown Henderson. This building, built in 1879, was the Sibley County Courthouse until 1915. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. It also houses the J.R. Brown River Center, a museum which contains many historical items of interest about Joseph Renshaw Brown. Now, J.R. Brown was born in 1805 and came to Minnesota in 1820 at the young age of 15 as a drummer boy. Colonel Leavenworth headed up this military regiment, and his duty was to build Fort St. Anthony, which is now called Fort Snelling. Now, Brown didn't stay a drummer boy long, but left the service and became a pioneer fur trader, businessman, and journalist. He was an entrepreneur and an interpreter for the Sioux Indian Treaty, signed in 1851. Served as the Indian agent from 1857 to 1861. Now, Brown served in both legislative houses and played a major role in legislation that created the Minnesota Territory. He was the founder of 2 Minnesota towns, both Henderson and Dakota, now called Stillwater. Brown County and the small town of Browns Valley, Minnesota, were also named after him. Well, by the time I finished with looking at all these great things in the J.R. Brown River Center, I was ready for a little something to eat and rest a bit. So I stopped at the Hog Wild Saloon and Eatery. You know, in fact, it was that burger that inspired me for today's recipe. Wink, wink.
Well, Prairie Ann, and guys, we have time for one more report. Would you like to see another one?
Yeah, great.
All right, then let's cut to Carolyn and Memoirs of a Librarian.
What is a city without a library? Hello, I'm Carolyn the Librarian, doing research for a book I'm writing, Memoirs of a Librarian. As I think I've told you before, no big city library can compare with the coziness of the small town libraries in southern Minnesota. They provide so much of their rich history and commitment to their citizens and guests, providing information and entertainment. Today, we'll be visiting.
The Adrian Library was started in 1941. The first place to house the library was a room at the back of Leo Fritz's barber shop. After a few years, it was moved across the street, and in 1962, Nobles County erected a new one-room branch library building at its current location on Main Avenue. The library houses a collection of over 10,000 items. The children's play area, periodic story time, a summer reading program for children, an annual writing contest for teens, and a winter reading program for adults. They also have multiple public computers with free internet access. You may contact the library by phone at 507-483-2541. Check out their website at www.kllibrary.org. www.plumcreeklibrary.org/Adrian.
Well, everybody, I guess we're out of time today. I want to thank Denny and Jeff for being here, and thank you for telling us all about Sauerkraut Days. Everybody in Sweet Swine is coming to Sauerkraut Days.
Great.
And we'd like to thank our field reporters today. And remember, we share small town stories with big town attitude because we are the women of Sweet Swine County. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.